Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, I'm Zach. Today I'm reviewing the Canon EOS RP again, this time more of a nighttime low light setting, sort of. So I hope you enjoyed that intro, like B-roll. It's the first time I've really focused on doing B-roll in a video in a long time. I'm just gonna go over a few clips from that B-roll sequence. Going over the first clip, looking over my girlfriend looking at the camera. There's not a lot of noise going on in the footage. I found that during this whole nighttime shoot, I was really able to pump the ISO up pretty high. I would say up to 6400 is as high as I went. For some reason I felt like if I went higher there'd be a lot of noise in the image, but there ended up not being that much. So honestly, I'd feel comfortable probably going to 12,800 ISO, but I didn't. So maybe try that if you want, but definitely really comfortable shooting with this camera at nighttime. I would definitely say it's not up there with the Sony a7S III. If you've seen footage of that can go super high, but obviously that's what, almost a camera that's $2,000 more, so you would hope it would perform like that. And just to quickly mention, all these clips were shot in 1080p at 60 frames a second, so that's why they were all slowed down. That was just because I really wanted to mess with B-roll and slowing down clips. Also, in the last video, most of the shots were 24 frames a second, except for maybe like one or two. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But all these 60 frames a second. All the apertures are at 4.0 for each single clip. And then the ISO was anywhere from 1600 to 6400, like I mentioned earlier. And then the shutter speed sat at right at 125 the whole time. Then looking at the second clip of my girlfriend looking at the lights, you can see again, not a lot of noise. None of these clips have been edited whatsoever other than slowing them down, and that's literally it. One has a speed ramp on it. The shot with the lights has a speed ramp on it. That's literally it. Nothing else has been color graded, no transitions. I'm actually going to show this sequence again at the end of this video with a color grade on it, possibly some transitions. I still have to go over that. What you saw in the first part of this video is literally what you get out of this camera. Excellent nighttime performance. Totally would recommend if you're more of a nighttime shooter. Not going to be the a7S III, but if you're coming from a crop sensor camera like I was, or if you're just coming from your phone, the nighttime shots you can get with this are very, very impressive. Definitely an upgrade. The last shot I want to go over is the one of the lights going by, the one that has a speed ramp on it. That clip was really to test out, I guess, how the camera handled a bright source of light in a dark environment. You can see in the clip, in my opinion, that the camera handled that two different types of light really well. I would say the biggest downfall of this setup would not be the camera itself, but the lens. The widest the aperture can open in this lens is 4.0. Currently it's actually at 4.5 because it's not 4.0 throughout the whole entire lens for some reason. I mean, it is a kit lens, so I can understand that, but the lowest it can go at this 35mm focal range is 4.5. So I'm actually looking at the RF 50mm 1.8 that just released, I think 2 days ago, and it's only $199, and for that price, just how wide open the aperture can be is phenomenal, and I will definitely get my hands on that hopefully in the next like 2 months, depending on if my job pays me or not. One last point I want to make: if you're shooting at a high ISO with any camera, obviously there's going to be a lot of noise and grain with that just because of how high the ISO is, but I would just say with this camera, don't be afraid to go and pump it high up, because I was afraid to do that and I ended up with a lot of shots that were underexposed, and so brightening them in post isn't the best thing to do. So I would just say be comfortable within it, trust it. It can do pretty good. But I think that's gonna end it for today's video. I know this one was a lot shorter than the last, but I think it ended up being pretty good with that B-roll sequence. And so if you enjoyed, subscribe, maybe like. Let me know what I can do differently in the comments, what you would suggest doing. I think that is it for the Canon EOS RP, reviewing it. Next week's video is most likely going to be dedicated to a workout of some sort. Not really sure, but we will see. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Roll the B-roll. Don't be a fraction. See you in the next one. Thank you.